Good morning. Today is Wednesday, December 18th, 1 week from Christmas, and this is Wake Up with KERA News. I'm Andrew Garcia. Some of those showers from last night are carrying over this morning, but they're expected to start clearing out by this afternoon. Expected to be chilly and windy today with temperatures hovering in the upper 50s. The U.S. has had its fair share of problems caring for veterans in recent years, but how does it measure up to one of its closest allies? We'll hear how South Korea and the U.S. compare in the care they provide for their veterans. That's after today's news. Death row inmate Roberson will testify at the state capitol this Friday about the prosecution's use of what's being called junk science. Roberson was given the death penalty after the death of his 2-year-old daughter in 2003, but shaken baby syndrome, which the case is centered around, has been criticized by lawmakers and medical professionals as being flawed. Roberson's attorney says he is looking forward to testifying and they intend to cooperate. More than 60 Texas organizations are urging legislators to fund improvements to Medicaid and food stamp application processes. The state's Health and Human Services Commission asked the state for $300 million to modernize its systems and hire more staff. In a letter to lawmakers, the groups say they support the request, calling the current system outdated and unreliable. U.S. veterans are getting better medical care after a major law was passed 2 years ago, but there are still complaints about the services available to vets. Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider recently traveled to South Korea, where he compared how the two countries care for their veterans.
In June 2002, South and North Korea were enjoying what appeared to be a thaw in their long-running Cold War. Then, 2 North Korean patrol boats crossed a maritime border in the Yellow Sea and opened fire on South Korean patrol boats.
We fought for 31 minutes after the North Korean side invaded.
Lee Hee-won was then serving in the Republic of Korea Navy.
27 of the crewmates, among the 27, 6 were killed in action and 21 were severely injured, including myself. And I personally went through 9 surgeries and had to be hospitalized for a year in the Army hospital.
Lee's right leg was amputated, and he still suffers post-traumatic stress. Today, he's the Vice Minister of Patriots and Veterans Affairs.
In Korea, we call our heroes National Merit Recipients, or 국가 유공자. And we support these people, our heroes, in 3 big ways.
Those 3 ways include pensions, physical and mental health care, and aid for descendants of veterans who died in service.
Korea has a relatively recent history of being a wealthy country and able to provide for anyone after retirement, veterans or otherwise.
Henry Haggard with Rice University's Bekah Institute says South Koreans are conflicted about their veterans. Even though mandatory military service means most people are familiar with it, they're wary from decades of military rule. And they just had a stark reminder.
I declare martial law to protect the Free Republic of Korea from the
2 weeks ago, President Yoon Suk-yeol declared and then called off martial law. There's now pressure on him to resign, which puts Yoon's push for increased spending on veterans at risk.
Veterans issues, I think, wrongheadedly are seen as a conservative cause. So I think it'll be harder for people who are harder to find a bipartisan kind of support for greater recognition, whether that's through pensions or otherwise, of veterans in Korea.
Under Yoon, the veterans budget for about 1 million vets and their families went up and is now 1% of South Korea's total government spending, while in the U.S., the 4% it spends covers way more vets. Terrence Hayes is with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs.
I would probably be safe to say that, we may be that gold standard that our allies are looking at when it comes to how we as a nation care for our veterans.
To care for its 9 million vets, the VA has 170 medical centers compared to 6 veterans hospitals in all of South Korea. But the VA has problems. About a decade ago, dozens of veterans died awaiting care in its facilities in Phoenix, a scandal that forced out its then leader. Passage of the PACT Act in 2022 made a big difference. Patrick Murray is with the Veterans of Foreign Wars.
The PACT Act was huge. Sometimes I don't know if there are words to describe how influential for our veterans it can be.
The new law addresses 24 medical conditions related to their service that weren't fully covered before. So now 750,000 more vets are seeking care, including those exposed to Agent Orange in Vietnam. Vets in South Korea had been getting this care for years.
That was Houston Public Media's Andrew Snyder reporting. Tonight, the Dallas Stars face the Toronto Maple Leafs. Both teams have won their last games at home, but the Stars might have something to worry about, as the Maple Leafs have won both their games during their last 2 visits to Dallas. We'll see how it all shakes out at the American Airlines Center this evening. Grab the family and head to Dallas Children's Theater to join the Peanuts Gang in a production of A Charlie Brown Christmas, now through December 22nd. For more information and other fun things to do, visit KERA.org/calendar. Thank you so much for once again listening to Wake Up with KERA News. I'm your host, Andrew Garcia. The show is produced and edited by Shardae White and Bekah Morr. For more news in your inbox, visit KERA.org/wakeup. There you can subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA News newsletter written by Catherine Hobbs. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at KERATX. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.